It's been a hot minute since I've uploaded. I wanted to come back to you and give you an update on what I've been doing. I had to go down to Sydney. We're in Newcastle. I had to go down to Sydney to do my last couple of days of work, and I finished up last Wednesday, which is awesome. So no more work for me. And then we took the kids to the zoo and saw some family, and now we've came back yesterday, came back home to Newcastle, and we are getting everything organised. And then it just dawned on me that I haven't filled you in on where it's up to in terms of organising everything. So that's what this video is about. I have been doing research on all the different enterprises and starting to get things underway. The first enterprise that I've been doing research on was eggs, or laying hens in our case. We spoken about this before. We want to get a chicken caravan and move it around the property after the cattle. That's a regenerative practice. And yeah, sell the eggs as pasture raised eggs. So I've been doing a bit of research on the food requirements, because you're selling a food, right? You're not just selling, handbags or whatever, an item, it's food. So you've got to go through the food authority, and there's a certain number of requirements you've got to have in terms of like sorting eggs and clean eggs versus dirty eggs, packaging, how long does an egg last. So I'm trying to work out all that to figure out how I manage it, because you can go and collect the eggs every day, that's obvious, but then you go and collect them and then you want to keep them somewhere apparently cool, below 15 degrees, to then when you've got a big enough amount that you take them and you sell them to wherever you're going to sell, whether it's a restaurant or a cafe or individuals, which is another thing I've got to work out. Do I want to sell to restaurants? Because eventually I'm going to have to replace the flock, because once a year you replace your flock because they start laying less eggs and become less viable. But then the restaurants are, for 6 or 12 weeks don't have any eggs, which is probably going to give them shits. So I need to work out that, whether I get 2 chicken caravans and like alternate them with the flocks, but it's just a bit more, just double the outlay, which is not quite what we've got on the financial plan. So yeah, I think I'm more leaning towards selling them to the local town and to local people that just drop past and pick up a dozen eggs or 2. There's also up the road from us, there's a veg stand where a bloke sells his produce. Our neighbour actually sells his produce and puts it in his stand, and all the townspeople in the local areas come and pick up and transfer the money on the banking app. I'm thinking I might be able to do like some consignment eggs to him. It's all things we've got to work out. The other big thing, which is, I've been thinking about it a lot, is trying to get water to this portable chicken caravan. It's like a big box trailer. You put your hens in, that's where they sleep and lay eggs, and the rest of the time they're walking around. But because it's portable, you're towing this thing around the pasture, you're getting water to it. You can't have a permanent line plugged in. So what you either get buckets in your back of your ute and you take them out there and pour them in their water system, or the better thing to do, which is what I want to do, but it's a lot of infrastructure, is you fence off all the dams on the property, and then you run water line from the dams with outlets down the paddock all around your property. But yeah, you got to run pipe or wherever you want the outlet. So you got to run ag pipe, and you got to dig a trench, possibly with the tractor. Got to figure that out. Dig a trench and then put the outlets in. Dig a trench, and ideally it goes under a fence line so the cattle don't step on the outlets. But how do you put something under a fence line that's already, like the fence line's already there? I'll take the fence out, put the line, and put the fence back. Do I put it like just next to the fence? I don't know. I've got to work that out. That's where we're up to with the laying hens, and just waiting for the email to come back with the pricing of the caravan, the feeders, the shipping, the construction, all that stuff. So waiting for that email to come back. I think that's about it for the eggs. On to the next one. So the cattle, it's a little bit trickier, but yeah, 26 cows with calves. Don't know how many have calved yet, waiting for
the owner to give us a call back, how many were successful calving, and then there's one bull there. And yeah, the price of beef is up and down, but more so up than it is down at the moment. So that's going to eat into the budget a little bit. Still got a few more months, maybe 2 months until we get the firm price from the stock agent. So we'll see what the market's doing there. But it's the same. I've got this, the main thing I've been researching is the same issue with the chickens, is water. At the moment, I think there's like 9 dams on the 140 acres that they're just drinking directly from the dam, and that's fine. That's the way they're doing it at the moment. But I really want to be able to get them cleaner water, so I want to fence off the paddocks. But then I've got to run the water line, so I'm not going to be able to do that straight away. They're going to have to keep drinking from the dams because that's going to take me a bit of time. I don't even know how to fence. I know I've got to put the sticks in the ground, and then I've got to like put a string around them. It's right. I have no idea. It's going to be a big learning curve. And then I think there's some implement you can put on the back of the tractor which lays the agricultural plastic pipe, the black stuff, in the ground. It's like you put a roll on the back and it kind of just sucks it and digs a hole and buries it in the ground. But then I've got to unbury it so that I can put my outlets on. Yeah, it's quite hard because I'm pumped. I want to get into it and start learning this stuff, but I don't own the property yet, so I'm just like, oh, God, just research, and then you just get book bound, and like, I just want to go out there with a shovel and start digging. I'm sick of researching. You want to do it the smart way, but God, I just want to get out there with a shovel. All this book reading is feel like it's getting me nowhere, but it'll be helpful. So that's the cattle, and I also Googled, the bull was a bit jumpy there, and the guy was like, oh, it's up to you whether you want to keep him. I think you might be a little bit boisterous. So I was Googling, instead of just getting rid of him, can I eat him? He's 3 years old. And Google said, oh, they can be a bit lean and a bit tough. But if you're turning it into mince and sausages, it doesn't really matter. Sausages? Because Google suggested this, that Google doesn't know that I love sausages. But you need to get a bit of fat from somewhere. So I don't know how you acquire that, but because the bull will be quite lean. So it could just be like, I don't know, 600 kilos worth of sausages. Turn this bull into 600. Oh, that sounds pretty good to me. So I'll see how we go with this bull. We might use him for one season, but I'm not sure what determines a good bull or not good bull. It was when we went and saw him. It was a bit jumpy. It was running around like a puppy dog. Like it was like jumping around like this big massive thing was just like moving like it was nothing. So it wasn't calm, but we'll see. We'll see when we get down there. That's the cattle done, and I guess it's about all I've been doing with the cattle. Just waiting for old mate to call me back and see how they're doing after the calving. Yeah, that's it. Next one.
The next is the 2 Airbnbs on the property. There's one that's a 2-bedroom granny flat and then another single room with an ensuite. So I will admit, doing them up and like making them look pretty and color schemes and knick-knacky things with like sticks coming out of it and like things that make it look nice that actually sell the property through the photos is not Farmer Liam's forte. That is Samantha's job. Not that I've just palmed it off, but in terms of getting it done properly, she's going to be much better at it than I am. I'll help with like getting the big things. So we've gone to Harvey Norman recently and gotten all the beds sorted. There's like 1, 2, 6 beds or something, 7 beds, something like that. And we've got all those beds sorted, so the big things are in the rooms. There's places for people to sleep. We've also, gotten things like she's ordered through all the white bed sheets, like in case you need to bleach them, you get white, all cotton stuff. We got heaps of these things. This wool quilt or wool doona. You put a quilt cover over. So cotton and wool. All those types of things we've sort of come with the way we want to do things, the natural fibres. And staying away from too much plastic and that, all just kind of natural stuff, because you move to the country and you want to be able to give that sort of back to the earth experience of all the stuff that's produced on the land rather than from an overseas somewhere else. Anyway, so those are the kind of things that we've bought. And so your bed things, we've got the sheet, not the sheets, the towels coming. And now she's starting to work into the colour schemes of things and pictures on the walls and cutlery and stuff. So she's starting to get all those smaller things. We've got a few big things. We'll probably get a couch off Facebook Marketplace, just for, you know, the budget reasons, and you can get them pretty cheap. If you've ever been on Facebook Marketplace and looked for couches, there is heaps. Don't ever buy a leather lounge brand new. You can get so many, some for free, some for like just a couple of $100. Brand new leather lounge is thousands of dollars, but people just give them away on Facebook. It's a great deal. So we'll get a few things secondhand, a few things, you know, from like secondhand shops, like Vinnie's and like church op shops, those kind of things. We'll do a bit of hunting around. But yeah, the colour schemes is up to Samantha, not me. We've started doing a bit of research into like soaps and things that you provide with a property. Like coffee machine. We've got the coffee machine, but you got to get like little pods for the coffee machine. What types of things do you like when you go to an Airbnb or a hotel kind of situation? What freebies do you give? Do you just give a bottle of water like a hotel does and everything you charge extra? I think I've been to a hotel for work, and the best one that I remember is that there was a complimentary Magnum ice cream in the little fridge freezer thing, and I thought that was sweet. You rock into the hotel, you cook from work or wherever you're doing, and you just eating ice cream. That won the hotel. I would stay at that hotel again. Another one that my colleague I worked with, he went to one, and he always went to this same group of hotels because you got one free beer every time you booked. So it's like, it's not a lot of money, but it's those type of things that matters to people. That bloke rebooked. I'd rebook for the ice cream. So those are the kind of nuances we're trying to build with our Airbnb offering, so that, you know, you get repeat bookings and you get new bookings. And I think you want to lean towards repeat bookings because it can be somewhat easy to get a new booking from someone, but to get them to come back again, that's something special. The last one is the hip camp. And with like New South Wales laws, you're allowed to have, I think it's 5 or 6, I should probably double check, campsites on your property if you're a primary producer, which I'll be registering for. And there's a couple of things I've been toying with. Obviously, you just take some pictures and get some people camping on your land, but you know, I've got to get a tractor and I've got to get a mower to keep the grass low, because people don't want snakes crawling in or walking around in knee-high grass. That's not fun camping. I love camping, so I'm a bit more passionate about this than the Airbnb. I've got heaps of camping gear, and I just love getting out there. So I really do look forward to the agri-tourism part of our enterprises, because I'm a bit shy, right? I'm a bit shy to start with. Most people that know me will know that. I'm a quieter person, but I really do love talking to people and listening to people's stories and looking at their rigs, their four-wheel drives, and just hearing all about them. I really do love it. So that's what's exciting me, and I love camping. What better thing to talk about camping? You know, sitting around the campfire really opens up people and what they want to talk about. It's fantastic. So there's a couple of things with the camping. So yes, I will just open up straight away once I've got the mowing sorted and some plots roughly plotted out with a couple of rocks in circles to put a fire, because if you go camping, you've got to have a fire. There's kind of no point in camping if you haven't got a fire, in my mind. So every campsite will have a fireplace where you're going to cook your dinner and your marshmallows. You need a campfire. But the other thing is, where I want the campsites is fully fenced in with electrical fence. So I've got to turn the electric fence off just for one, so people don't get zapped, because there's not going to be any cows on that side of the property. And I need to put in a gate so that along the back edge, so people can camp and then open the gate and then go down to the river for a swim, for a fish, just to get their feet wet, have a splash around, take their dog down, whatever. So I need to put a gate in. The other one was a dunny. People need to go to the dunny, right? I think a hip camp suggests that if the site doesn't have, or is mandatory, if the site doesn't have a toilet, you've got to take your own sort of chemical toilet or something. I've never done that when I've been camping. I generally book a site which is in a state park, and you know, dig your own hole, or you book a site with a toilet, especially if the wife and kids are going. You book a site with a toilet. A long drop, they're not fussed about it, but it's somewhere to plant their rump and do their business. So I've got to get a toilet in. It doesn't have to be straight away, because you know, caravans and stuff have their own toilets. I've got to get a toilet in. I'm thinking of a composting toilet. There's a few regulations and applications you got to put in to be able to put one of those in, but that's on the cards. Doing a little bit more research on that. I'm pretty sure I've nailed down compost toilet, but I just need to figure out how much you want to spend on a dunny. Gone are the days of just digging a hole. So yeah, you don't want people digging holes all over your property, doing their business in there. It's a bit gross. Yeah, and then the last one is the agritourism, like attractions. Yeah, it's nice being out in the country, but if you've got like a little bit something extra, and I think the way to go would be animals. I just don't know what animals. I want them to be separate from the cows, because that is their own separate thing. They're growing beef over there to be able to sell and eat, and they're not they're not a pet-like animal. They don't want you to come up and pat them. So I'll try and coax those to be a bit more friendly. But on the smaller side of the block, where the tourism will be, I think like a little petting zoo, or baby animals, or like a Highland cow, one of those fluffy cows. I think that'd be a pretty cool thing. Everyone's spoken about these bloody fluffy cows. You know, the ones with looks like they're a bit emo, and they've got the hair in front of their face. They're pretty cute. I've never seen one in person. I've only seen videos. But so we've got about, I think it's 9 acres on the agritourism side of the property, and I think I need to work out the fencing. So I want it to be regenerative too. I don't want them to all, you know, get sick and be fed crap all the time. I've got to work that out, but yeah, maybe a Highland cow, maybe some chooks. People collect their eggs, rabbits, baby goats, baby lambs. Yeah, that's what I've been working on at the moment. Something more than just the scenery to bring people in and want to book, or for kids as well. That's important to us. Whenever we go, it's like, oh, they've got something for the kids where the kids can go off and the parents can, I don't know, have a drink or just sit down and have a coffee without all the time. You want the kids to have fun too. So a playground, some sporting equipment, maybe a canoe for the river. This side of the property's already got a cricket pitch of I don't know what you call it. It's like hard grass. It's like, I don't know how they make it, but it's a cricket pitch. So, you know, provide some balls and bats. I really want to do get like a secondhand playground from an old school or something and install that. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, those are all the things that we're working on at the moment. But yeah, just got to download that HipCamp app and do the account and get those sites listed straight away. And then I think the next thing would be the dunny. So yeah, get listed, put the gate in, dunny. That's the way to go. That sums up all the different enterprises. Now the rest of the stuff is just all the stuff you'd normally do with moving, like packing boxes, insurance, finding an accountant down there for the business. So I've never run a business myself. And then I've got to service the cars. The cars are a bit sick at the moment. One of the car is a bit sick at the moment. And I'm not sure if you can hear that. My wife, Samantha, is trying to put Savannah, our 1-year-old, to sleep. And she's just wailing. Oh God, the sun goes down and she just turns into this tiny little demon. And so there's not been much sleep going on because she's just gone to another phase where she just wakes up all the time at night. So yeah, it's trying times at the moment. It's just coffee.